We are recording.
Perfect. Welcome everybody to the January 30th Colorado NINA APCO board meeting. Let's see here. We'll call to order. It looks like we have all of our members on. Do we want to do a roll call or go through and state who's on?
I don't need it for secretary wise.
Okay, perfect. We will not do that then. That works for me. I'm approval of the November 28th, 2023 meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Or does anybody have any comments on those? Nothing?
Well, this is Kathy. If no comments, I move to approve the minutes.
Perfect. Thank you, Kathy. Do we have a second?
This is Jody. I'll second.
Any further discussion? None? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? All right. Approval of the November 28th, 2023 meeting minutes has been approved. Next on the agenda is appreciation. Ronnie, do we have anything specific for that?
Nope, there was nothing that came over on the request for agenda items.
Okay. The only thing I would like to say is thank you to the conference committee group. We've been working through the 2024 conference details, and we're getting closer, obviously, as the time approaches. So I'm sure we'll get further into that with the updates, but thank you to everybody that continues to participate and give their feedback on that. We appreciate that. Jody, Treasurer's report.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Not much to report. Our bank account is at $13,278. Our savings account is at $74,165.75. The only thing I currently have outstanding is a $100 entertainment deposit for conference. And then I think we have some other treasury items to discuss today, but that is all I have for right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Committee chair reports. We'll start with Kathy, Finance Committee.
I don't really have anything to update right now. We're not making any changes or doing anything in the Finance Committee, so good to go.
Okay. Membership Committee. Scott, are you on? I don't think I see Scott. Does anybody have any membership committee updates?
This is Jennifer. I don't have any membership committee updates, but the chapter challenge for NINA is on. And so chapters that win that, it significantly increase their membership. So last meeting that we had, I have notes that we were going to try and get a flyer about the benefits of chapter membership out to our non-participating agencies. And so if we want to coordinate with the membership committee chair to make that happen, now would be a good time so we could be in the running for the chapter challenge.
This is Jody. I just related to the committees before we delve into them, because I was tasked with something for the committees last time, and I did actually accomplish that. Do we know if Scott's still even able or interested in participating in that committee? I just feel like we haven't seen him in a long time.
Jody, I'll go you one further in support and ask if we are seeing the participation from the committee chairs that we originally envisioned.
Right. And the reason I bring it up is because I did speak with Brad Flanagan, and he's swamped right now with him and Matt co-chairing a couple of different committees. Brad is interested in remaining a co-chair, but he would need someone to take on the bulk of the work. And I think that one specifically was for help me out here. Bylaws and professional development. And so he's happy to continue to work on those. He just needs someone else that can do some of the heavy lifting for him. So, and that just kind of brought up that we have a few other committees that we've just not really seen anybody for a while. So. And I am not volunteering, by the way. Just want to be clear.
You sure, Jody?
I just want to be clear on that.
It looks like Nate Trush is on here. Should we volunteer him?
Well, I wonder if maybe this is an opportunity for us to reach out to all of our committee chairs. And since we're fairly early in the year, just reach out to them and ask, are you still willing to serve? If not, that's fine. If so, we'd love to have you. And then we can find out who's able to continue serving. And then those who aren't, we can reach out and ask for volunteers to take over as committee chairs and try and drive some participation that way.
Yeah, and we could even talk about that if we do have openings during the conference, we could bring that up as a point of conversation.
Yes.
During the conference as well. Okay. Any other discussion on conference committee? Or I'm sorry, memberships committee? None. Okay. We'll move on to the conference committee. So the Flash Day is next week, I believe. Correct, Jennifer? What did we decide on next week?
Next Tuesday, a week from today.
So February 6th is the Flash Day for the folks that are looking to save a little bit of money. The registration is currently open for conference as well as pre-con. And then the links are on the website for the hotel information. I did follow up with the hotel. We already have folks booking rooms, which is great. The last update that I had, we had about 133 rooms between the 3 days that we had to still fill. So started out, I think, kind of strong. So hopefully people will continue, especially after the Flash Day, on getting their rooms booked. We've got an agenda that's out as well with the sessions that are going to be conducted. We have reached out, I believe, to everybody and confirmed with everybody that they are on the schedule for those sessions. We will have a few folks with presentations ready to go as backups for in the event that we have somebody not show up. We know that we've experienced that in the last few years as well. So we'll have people ready to go if in the event that we actually need them to fill a spot. Outside of that, the dates are, again, April 29th through May 1st. It sounds like we will have representation from APCO on the 1st. What else am I missing for the folks that are part of that group? Do we have an update, Jennifer, potentially on sponsorships and registrations?
Yeah, while I'm pulling that up, we did confirm Vinny Montez, the comedian. He will be joining us for our dinner entertainment on Tuesday night. And so I think we should definitely put out some marketing about that because I think it's great. And I think people, one, we're offering free dinner, and two, free entertainment for them. Plus the prize drawings would be great. We are currently, sitting at, come on, give me the whole overview sheet here. Eventbrite.
16 vendors have signed up so far.
Yeah, I've got 20 now since I updated the spreadsheet yesterday.
Hang on, let me read. I just pulled it up.
Well, even since yesterday, we've got more. So we have a total of 20 sponsors signed up, or sponsors or booth rentals. And I'll let Ken speak on some of this.
Real quick, I need can you add, and I forgot to tell you this from last year, can you add a column on Eventbrite that's just the company name?
I can do that.
Because I can do pretty good with the at for their email address, but someone else is owned by somebody else and they're, whatever.
Yep.
So,
Yes, I can
maybe
do that.
just a couple, so we'll get it fixed. Well, my screen shows 16 on here so far, but let's see here. We're doing pretty good. I've got bronze. I've got a standard, a bronze, standard, silver. Oh, that's me. Bronze,
Thank you.
standard, bronze, a lunch sponsor, which is super cool. Another bronze, so standard, a bronze, a standard, and then a bronze plus a coffee break. So this is fantastic so far. I think we can top out about 33 booths, and that leaves us room. I got to double check at the layout. That leaves us room for a couple of the freebies we need to give away.
Yeah, and Ken, if you can add the dogs for Larimer County, not the dogs themselves, but the
plush
retired
dogs.
working dogs.
Do we have the petting dogs or the attack dogs this year?
I believe, and I defer to Chris, I believe the attack dogs are willing to do a demo during lunch or right before lunch, potentially.
Okay.
Correct. Cat dogs are in.
Yep. But then we've got the group that provides those plush canines, and
Yeah.
it goes to the retired canine units so they can stay with their handlers after their service. So we just need to, apparently, historically, we've done a free booth for them. So I did run it across the group, and the group's on board with continuing that. So if we can just hold a booth for that group as well. Ken, I can forward you her email info.
Yeah, please just forward that, but I usually set some aside. I think I set 4 or 5 aside for whatever reason.
Okay. I just forwarded it to you.
Okay, awesome.
And then Jennifer, one thing on this specifically, if we can get, or if you can upload a list to the drive of just the updated who's sponsored, just so we can follow up. I know a lot of folks are working on sponsorships, and so we're not double dipping, if you will. We can follow up with folks that if they've said they're going to sponsor and they haven't, we can kind of see where we're at with those things, if that makes sense.
Yep, I'm actually just added the column that Ken asked for, and that'll make it much easier to see who is doing what.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, I pulled up the ballroom design. So we've got 42 available booths in there. And like I said, I usually keep about 4 set aside for the dogs, for a speaker if they want to sit and sell books or whatever. And then I seem to always fill them for some reason. So that's great. So we're about halfway there. So that's fantastic.
Sweet.
And I have a request. If somebody could start sending me the list of companies that have signed up to sponsor so far, I can get those on the website.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Daryl.
I can take care. You got that, Ken?
Yeah.
Great.
I'll take care of that for you, Daryl. What's our story with the app this year? Or is Story sponsoring us again, or
Yep.
I haven't,
The app
I
is
haven't looked really.
The app is a go, and right now they're the only sponsor listed on the webpage.
I haven't heard anything on the app. I don't know, Daryl, or I think Daryl and Kathy had worked with him in the past, I believe, correct?
Well,
I had not.
I think it was primarily Bruce that worked with him in the past, but it's an ongoing contract, so the app still works. We've been using it, and so we have them listed as a sponsor on the webpage right now.
Do we need to follow up with him, Daryl, or have you had any contact with him?
I've not had any contact with him directly. I've had contact with the tech support for the app.
Okay.
I know we do have an ongoing contract.
Okay. As long as we feel like that's sufficient, then I'm good with that as well.
So we're in our 3rd year of the contract, as far as I remember, without looking up paperwork. We're in our 3rd year of using that app for contract and promoting him as a sponsor. But I don't think anybody's been in contact with him since maybe last year. So
Yeah, I'm looking up. Someone else must have signed him up on 2023. What the hell's the name of this company?
OCV is the name of the company, or OCV is the name of the app. Hold on a second.
Let me go back to my previous lists and see, and then I'll give him a shout.
It's govapp.com.
Oh, that's right, govapp.com. Okay. Let me see if I can hunt it down. I don't see it in 2023. Let me look at 2022. I just want to make sure they're participating, and we get them all taken care of.
yeah, I don't know if he'll be here. I don't remember that he was there last year. But our contract, if I remember right, still means that we need to list GovApp as a sponsor. So I'll go back and Ken or you or I can go back and look at the contract and see what our obligations are that way.
I have never seen it, but I have. Okay, the email address for them is just marketing@myocv.com. So let me hit. I'll double check that I have that in the email I sent out to all my vendors, and then let me double check he's in there, and I will. Either way, I'm going to hit him up again.
Perfect. Thanks, Ken. Is there anything else that I'm missing from the conference updates that the group needs to know or that I didn't touch on? Sweet.
Hey, Tyler.
Yo.
Just a heads up, I did have a question from Cheryl Garcia about volunteering for the conference committee. And she asked what she needed to do that. And I told her that she needed to be a NINA or APCO member first. So we may have an addition to the conference planning committee if she signs up as a member, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay. And then we would just have, get her email and have Daryl add that to that alias that we've created.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine. Anything else that anybody wants to add? I know, Kathy, I know you were working on some giveaways with some smaller sponsorships. Do you have any updates on those?
I don't right offhand.
Okay, perfect. All right. Outreach committee. Ashley, are you on? Says no updates, but wanted to give the floor if anything's changed. Nothing. Daryl or Patrick, you want to give an update on anything technology for the technology committee?
I don't think I have anything to update.
Okay. Education committee, Valerie. Says no updates. I guess I would ask Jennifer, does this, I know you were down at the Capitol, was it Monday? Yesterday?
Last week, but go ahead.
Does that have anything to do with some of the educational stuff?
No, the educational committee was designed to have our members give an opportunity to what we wanted to bring to our membership for like NINA classes or APCO classes or other continuing education opportunities. I would encourage us to, again, reach out to Val and see if she's still willing to serve as committee chair, and if not, find someone to replace. And I do have a suggestion under educational opportunities. We can talk about that, or we can talk about that later. It's up to you.
No, that's fine. We can talk about it now.
Well, what I wanted to suggest is that we look into co-hosting with APCO to bring an active shooter class to our members. And then for Nina's center supervisor, which is a 3-day class. When you co-host with both agencies, we would have to find a location and do marketing, but we wouldn't pay outright. We would just have to meet a minimum student number in order for the class to go on. So if we are interested in doing that, then we need to have someone volunteer to provide a location, and they wouldn't have to provide location for both, just one. spreading it out around the state would be helpful, and then we would need to mark it so that we could get students signed up. So I wanted to present that for an idea and see what people thought.
Hey, Jennifer, I think it's a good idea. If we don't meet the minimums, is the chapter on the hook for the difference?
No, we don't lay any money out in either case. It just gets canceled.
Okay, it'll just be canceled then at that point. If they don't make what they feel like is the minimum, or what
Right.
the minimum is.
Right.
Okay. South Metro is happy to provide a space for either one of those. Depending on, I haven't looked at the content to active shooter stuff. If that's more law based, maybe that makes more sense at a law agency. But we're happy to host either one. Just let me know kind of what tentative dates we'd be looking at, whether that be this year or going into next year, and we can look at getting space booked for folks.
I'd love to see it happen this year.
I'm totally good with it. Jennifer, have you been coordinating this with them, or?
No, I wanted to bring it to the board before I took any further action.
Okay.
And
I'm happy to offer up space at South Metro this year. I just need to know tentative dates and what that looks like, and we can try to get stuff booked. So I'm happy to offer up a space. If we can do both, that'd be great. If somebody else has space that they can offer.
Well, I kind of wanted to hit up our Western Slope partners and see if Jody or Gina would be interested in hosting maybe the APCO active shooter class.
Yeah, I was just actually going to jump in. I'd be absolutely happy to do such. We could either utilize Western Colorado University, or we would have space on the Western Slope to host. I also would, I don't know if anybody else has interest, but I'd be interested in hosting a CTO class too.
Great. Do you want APCO or do you want Nina?
We would prefer APCO, just because that's what all of our certifications are at this time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm happy to do whatever. So if we're talking education opportunities, but yeah, I can make it work for the Western Slope for sure.
I have no doubt.
Anybody who wants to drive all the way over, but we would have space.
Same. I have no doubt that we would be happy to provide space for a class in Garfield County.
Perfect. Well, if the board's in agreement, then I'll work with everybody who has volunteered so far and see if we can get some proposed dates on the calendar, and then we can reach out to Nina and APCO.
Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer, for heading that up.
Sure, you're welcome.
This is one that we probably need to find a new chair for, but the bylaws, it was Matt. Obviously, Matt's no longer with us. So the question is, who wants it? Does anybody want to take that on from the perspective of updating and make sure they're current? Anybody? This group is always so silent.
That's because our plates are full.
Yeah, I hear you there, Kathy. Trust me. I hear you.
I'll put my hand up for this. I can review them.
Okay.
I'll help her.
Thanks, Jody.
You're welcome.
And Kathy, there's potential that we could have a few of my dispatchers help with that as well if needed. They're
Okay.
just not on this call. If they were on this call, I'd volunteer them. But
I just so happen to have Brittany and Sarah in my office with
that's
me.
exactly who I was thinking about, Chris.
You tell me, well, they'd be happy. They're looking at me right now.
So
And-
let's have-
Smiles on their faces.
They're volunteering with glee right here.
Uh-huh.
perfect. Let's have the two of them work with Kathy, just because they might need some institutional knowledge. But I'm happy to assign that to them, Chris.
They are happy to do it, and they got big smiles.
Okay.
Institutional knowledge. I didn't know I'd have to have that.
Yep. So, Kathy, it'll either be Sarah Shover or Brittany Yeager that'll be reaching out to you. We'll get them your email
Okay.
address, and
Kathy, that's just a nice way of saying we're old, by the way.
There's something to be said about institutional knowledge.
Yeah, that's what we're
Unbelievable.
doing. The Backstreet Boys are, so it makes it all feel old.
It's true.
Institutionalized.
Yeah.
There you go. No, it sounds good. I look forward to working with them.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for willing to step up and help out with that. Nate Trush, I don't believe I see him on the call for the chapter historian. I don't think he had any updates. Does anyone have anything that they want to add potentially for Nate or on Nate's behalf?
It's still on my list of things to do to get with him to update our annual, like we have a spot on the website that talks about which BARD members were in service for each year. And I have all of that, but I need to get with him it's on the list, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
He's done a great job putting it all out and making it accessible. I just want to fill in the record based on materials that we have in our drive.
Okay. Perfect. Oh gosh, hopefully that echo's not starting. Pro Church Committee. It's vacant. Another committee that's open. Anybody?
I think we were waiting to fill that until we figured out what APCO was doing with ProChart at the national level.
Okay. So we'll hold off on that. Peer support. Teresa?
Yes. I don't really have any updates. Denver 911 is hosting a peer support certification for dispatchers. It is taught by Code 4 Counseling. It is from February 26th to March 1st. I know that the registration has already closed for that, but if you have anybody that is interested in getting the certification for it, just contact Jessica Trush over at Denver, and she might be able to get that done. But that's really the only thing that we have coming up.
Perfect. Any questions for Teresa from the group? No questions. All right, moving on. Turt. Is Linnell on? I don't see her. Or does anybody have any updates on Turt specifically? All right, we're moving right along. Professional Development Committee. Is Brad on? He's not. Any updates from anyone that might be involved with that? Jennifer, did you highlighted like you were going to speak?
Oh, I don't have anything specific. Just to remind our group that Professional Development Committee was created to provide opportunities for possible ENP or CPE or RPL scholarships, and developing study materials to support the ENP study process. So I know the Colorado Training Standards Institute is already working on redoing the study group videos that we did several years ago. So whoever takes over this committee, there's a good opportunity to provide some substantial benefit to our membership.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. I would like to see some kind of, and we'll never get Nina on board with this, but some kind of class for some of those bigger certifications, or at least study groups. But there are study groups out there, but having a more localized, I agree with you, Jennifer, that'd be beneficial to some folks. So we're going to jump right into you again, Jennifer, for PUC update.
All right, we have a lot going on at the PUC, actually. We have a proceeding open that is amendments to emergency service outage rules. The proceeding number, if you guys want proceeding numbers, I will happily provide them. Otherwise, I'm just going to let you know what's going on. But they had a hearing yesterday specifically to continue the public comment process. So the public comment hearing has been rescheduled to February 29th. That would be Leap Day at 11:30. And the comment period is still open if you want to provide written comments. So that is open and running. Excuse me. The Basic Emergency Service Improvement Plan process is still open, and the next substantive action on that will be in February. We also have a proceeding that's still open that CenturyLink filed an amendment to the tariff, and it was protested by several entities. And so discussions between all those parties are still taking place. No substantive action has taken place on that so far. We have some state legislation going on. We had a victory yesterday. The legislative committee had put forth a 911 resource center funding bill to try and get stable funding on an annual basis for the resource center. That's going to be Senate Bill 24-052. It was in Judiciary Committee hearing yesterday, and it was approved, as was an amendment to add on a training standard, voluntary training standards requirement to that particular bill. The amendment was also approved, and so it has been forwarded to the Appropriations Committee since there's a financial aspect to that. We also have a bill, House Bill 24-1016, that is in hearing tomorrow in committee, and this would redefine public safety personnel to include 911 professionals. So effective reclassification, and you can sign up to provide testimony at that hearing tomorrow if you like. The Legislative Committee is also working on introducing a 911 enterprise bill, and that the draft language for that is being actively worked on as we speak via email and conversation. So we hope to see that introduced as well. That would create a 911 enterprise board made up of governing body representatives, and it would create a statewide funding mechanism so that we could purchase services at the statewide level for 911 PSAPs without creating additional fees. The FCC adopted location-based routing rules at their meeting on the 25th. This is great news. It would require all the wireless carriers to provide location-based routing instead of triangulation or tower routing. So this is going to greatly improve 911 wireless call location services. So that was great. The Congress is running a bill to combat swatting, and the FCC released its annual 911 fee report. If anybody's interested in that, you can go to the FCC website and find information on that. Luckily, Colorado is not one of the 3 states that was identified as diverting 911 fees illegally. So yay, Colorado. Let's see. I think that pretty well wraps it up. Daryl, do you have anything to add?
Just I had to laugh at Diva applauding that. Yay, we're not diverting funds. Yeah, and I think an important thing to point out about the bill tomorrow that defines emergency communication specialist, what it does is it creates a definition for that term, which there's never been a definition for public safety telecommunicator or emergency communication specialist or anything like that in statute. And the definition would go in the same section of statute where the 911 fees are found, and it specifically states that emergency communication specialists are first responders. So I think it's a great way to get into statute, essentially an official statement that Colorado considers emergency communication specialists to be first responders.
Yeah, and this is Representative Leader's bill that for the folks that went to Washington last year that she talked about in our Colorado breakfast that we had while we were out in DC last year. So there will be myself, and I have one of our dispatchers that will be testifying tomorrow specifically on behalf of this bill. So for the folks that met Representative Leader last year in DC, she's the one who's actually chairing this. So Just FYI.
Oh, one thing I forgot to add is that Daryl gave the State of 911 report to the legislature last week. Did a fantastic job, and there is a recording available if you guys want to see it. So thanks, Daryl.
Thank you, Daryl. And for the testimonies tomorrow, I believe there's a link for that as well, and it will be recorded, but it's live streamed if people want to watch that too, if they're interested.
Thank you for sending testimonials and support.
Can you put the link for the live in the chat?
I'll get it.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, we were, Representative Leader asked us specifically if we'd be willing to come down and give our opinion, for lack of better terms. So we're happy to do so, and hopefully we get some traction on it this time. Anything else for PUC updates?
I have nothing. Daryl, do you have anything else?
No, other than I'm going to put in the chat a link to if you want to sign up to testify, and you can testify remotely tomorrow on the emergency communication specialist definition bill. So if you want to do that, you can use the link that I just put in the chat.
And I would give you a note of caution. If you sign up and they send you back an email and it does not have a Zoom link, then you need to contact them by phone or email and make sure they send you the Zoom link, because the link that they sent in the acknowledgement email is for the audio feed and not necessarily a participation link. So make sure it's a Zoom participation link that you get.
Awesome. Thanks for all that information. We appreciate it.
Happy to help.
National news. It doesn't look like Bruce is here.
Now, Tyler, I had forwarded him this meeting invite last week, and he just texted me this morning saying he can't make it.
All right. I was hoping to be able to talk to Bruce. APCO. Looks like Jackie is on, though.
I am here. Sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold, so I'm a little congested, but the biggest thing from our side is from the national level, we're still trying to hear back on why the conferencing committee as a whole was just removed and the whole committee was just basically disbanded. They're still waiting from the national level to hear back as to why it happened. The Western region, as soon as they get updates from their big meeting that they have for the board, they will get back to me. But they said that the letter that was put together on our side was taken with that. And I've had a couple other people from different PSAPs and different regions that have reached out and asked kind of what Colorado's viewpoint is, and told them that we sent a letter to our region and that it's been a hot topic of conversation. Basically, everybody in the region is on the same page and kind of frustrated as to why it happened. So we're just waiting to hear feedback. And that's been the biggest thing. I also sent the KSA sheet to the board. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at if there's any other questions or things that you want me to bring up about the region position. I'm happy to bring that up also.
Jackie, this is Jennifer. I had a question about that. Did they, in your meeting, give an explanation for why they were considering the KSAs?
Basically, because it was the only position that didn't have one. So that was the biggest push to be like, okay, now that every position kind of has a KSA, we can look at it as to not necessarily not needing one, but also that it was one of the only positions that doesn't have one. So,
well, having said that, then I'd be curious to see what the KSAs are for the other positions.
Okay.
If
yeah,
it's possible to get that.
Yeah, I'll get that list.
Did everybody else have a chance to read those over? Okay. Well, knowing that we're all busy, I encourage you to take a look at that document that Jackie sent out, because it basically puts a set of parameters around who can run for national board office at the APCO level and things that you have to have done in order to be eligible. So Jackie, when is the meeting, the next meeting by which we need to have feedback back to you for that?
Whenever we were talking about it, we met 2 weeks ago and I told them that our meeting was this week. So we're meeting again in February for our post board meeting. So anytime between, and I can get dates when I get the rest of those KSAs sent out to you guys and you can take a peek, but I'll get an update and also the other KSAs, and I will get you a date of when we're meeting next to kind of have, if you have questions now, feel free to email me, but I'll get those other KSAs out.
Thanks so much for bringing this to our attention. And for the rest of the board members, I know you're very busy and I appreciate your time, but I encourage you to take a look at them so that we can provide any feedback to Jackie for her to take back to the national level if we have any.
Awesome. All good information. Thank you. Anything else from national news that anybody might want to chime in on, or any other questions for Jackie? All right, moving right along. New business. Consideration of nomination for Jennifer Kirkland for APCO Life membership. Jennifer, you want to have the floor for a minute?
Sure. I want to thank the board for consideration. The life membership has to be, the nomination has to come from the members chapter. So which is why I forwarded the materials to you. The deadline, all this, if the chapter chooses to nominate me, then the paperwork has to get be in receipt at the APCO offices by close of business tomorrow. So we have a short deadline. But life membership, you have to meet a certain set of criteria and you have to have contributed a certain number of contributions to APCO or to public safety. So I listed those out in the application that I sent out. And I respectfully request the chapter board consider nominating me, and I am happy to step out of the meeting while you all discuss if you like.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that. Any other discussion? Would the group like Jennifer to exit for a minute, or is the group comfortable with having any further discussion? Or do we have a motion on the table?
This is Kathy. I am very comfortable with Jennifer remaining in the room, but I'm just one person. Jennifer has been part of this board for as long as I can remember, or at least not always on the board, but part of this chapter for as long as I can remember. And the work that she does, both on this board and just for 911 overall, has always been outstanding. On a personal level, she's a great friend. I know that doesn't count for anything with this, but I had to note it. And so with all that being said, and I think everybody knows here Jennifer's history and the things that she has done to help 911 both in the state and at a national level, I would nominate her for life member.
Ditto what Kathy said, and I would second that.
Yeah, and I would just say, obviously with Matt leaving and how everything kind of fell out this year, without Jennifer's help, I think Chris and I both would be even more lost than what we already are to a certain extent. And so I agree with that. I think she brings a great contribution to the group, and I am 100% in support of that as well. So I ditto what Kathy said as well.
You're doing a great job.
And I concur. If you guys had an opportunity to look at the resume and information that Jennifer sent out, not only has she been involved for a long time, she's been involved at a level that most of us can't really comprehend. She has participated in numerous groups. She has held office. She has actively engaged herself in all levels of the commitment to APCO and to Colorado. She has worked her way, from telecommunicator, which when it was called that, all the way up to director, and now is advocating for us at the state level as well. So I am very comfortable approving this nomination as well.
I don't know how to send the little celebration things. So hearts and celebration. Yeah, those. What Diva just sent. Those. Yeah, I don't know how to send those.
I'm so glad the camera's not off because I'm very emotional, you guys. Thank you so much for all of your kind words.
Go ahead, Jennifer. Sorry, I was just going to tell Chris to push the smiley face at the bottom so that he can send you something.
There you go.
There it is.
Thanks, you guys.
That being said, do we need a motion to nominate her for
Yeah, I think Kathy kind of did, and we got seconded, but I think we need to make an official motion, have someone second it, and then vote on it.
Okay.
Chris Carnahan will second.
Well,
We need a
Kathy, do you
motion.
want to make an official motion, and then
I will make the official motion for Jennifer Kirkland to be nominated as a life member.
Chris Carnahan.
Chris Carnahan will second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
Any opposed? All right, it passes unanimously.
Thank you all.
Yay.
Round of applause.
I'm really, really grateful and thank you all for all of your kind words. I will work with Ronnie as our secretary to get the paperwork into the right place.
Perfect.
Let Chris
And
figure
thank
it
you
out.
again. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer, for everything you do.
I'm happy to do it. And honestly, I'm happy to be in a place where I have support from my leadership to do so at this point. So thank you, Daryl, for letting me do all of this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Daryl, thanks for letting us steal her in her time. We appreciate that. All right, proposal for new item for sale. It doesn't say who wanted to have that added.
Oh, that was me.
So was that you? Okay.
Do you guys watch SNL?
Occasionally.
Well, I just watched it the other night and wasn't really impressed, but they had a skit that kind of dovetails into what I was going to suggest, and I thought it was hilarious. But I think we know that the Stanley tumblers are very popular right now. And I was going to propose that we put the Neenah APCO logo as well as a Neenah app, like a dispatcher phrase that isn't already taken, on the other side, and sell those at the conference to benefit either helping our own or maybe to go toward defraying the costs of bringing training to the state. We can get them. I'm trying to remember, did I send all that information about the research that I did with this agenda item, or did I not?
No, I do not believe so.
Okay, well, I looked it up and we can get them with the engraving or whatever for about $15 a piece. And we could sell them for $25 easily. So we would make a profit of $10 on each one. And if we sell them at the conference as a limited edition item, I think that if they don't sell out, I think we'll be pretty close. So I wanted to see what everybody thought about that.
Are these the real Stanleys?
No, it's not a real Stanley.
Well, no, it's for that price.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
For that price, I'll take 100 and sell them.
Seriously.
But the Stanleys have lead and cause cancer, so maybe we should look at Yetis.
Well, the SNL skit called them big dumb cups, and it was really hilarious. That was the best part about SNL the other night.
The Stanley float too.
Oh, that's a selling point.
Yep.
Anyway, if people are interested and think it would be good, then I will work up a more formal proposal and send it out by email before spending any money.
I think I'd want to hear from just Jody on this, being the treasurer, if she's good with this expenditure.
If we think we can recoup our costs and make some money, I would be supportive of that. Yeah, like I don't want to end up with 200 cups that we can't sell. But if everybody thinks that's a going thing and we can, make some money on those, absolutely.
How many are you proposing we purchase in hopes of selling, Jennifer?
I was proposing 100 because I think at $25 a piece, people will pick them up. Real Stanleys are like 35. But
yeah. We're giving real Stanleys away for Zybex, so.
Ooh, that'll be a good giveaway.
Follow us on social media.
And I'd like one of those. I know Tyler just,
I don't have one.
Next month is hot pink, Chris.
I'll take hot pink.
I was thinking red.
Don't try me with a good time.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, we would purchase 100 of them at $1,500 or at $15 a piece, right? So about $1,500 with the intention to sell them for what, 25?
Right.
Okay, but are you guys giving away Stanleys at the conference?
No, that's a little steep to just hand out too many, so I will not be giving those away.
Okay, well, I have Zybex furniture. It's fairly new, and I don't have one, but I can give you my address.
I know, me too.
Tyler's
Man,
newer.
No,
consoles haven't even been used yet.
Well, I do have special giveaways for good customers. So
do Zybex consoles include a cup holder that's sized correctly for this?
Yes,
they do actually.
I got great cup holders.
They do, yeah. I have them.
They do.
Yeah. So as long as we're not competing with some sort of Stanley, I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to have a Stanley Cup giveaway there because they're popular. But if as long as we're not competing with any, then yeah, I think people love that, right? They walk up to the table and they're like, "Oh, look at that!" And all it does is create more work for me, and you guys love to do that, so let's do it.
Jody, I think we should have a volunteer sit at the table and sell those.
Well, I think the problem is people don't want to pay with a card. I have to go through the AffiniPay process. It's not a big deal at all. We do it with the coins all the time. I'm just making fun of you guys. So
could we set up a Venmo QR code just for this type of stuff?
I would have to look into that. I don't honestly know.
Could probably do that for coins too then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you can.
They have a business account through Venmo.
Okay. Kathy and I, as Kathy being the finance committee and Kathy, we'll do some research on that.
Yes, I was just volunteered.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can figure that out. It'd be great because then people can just scan the QR code and pay directly from that. So, I mean, I don't mind doing it. It's really not that hard. It's just, you get somebody in and then somebody else walks up. And so that's the only issue. So, but I like the idea. As long as we're not competing with somebody else, then we should absolutely look at it.
I will put together.
Sorry, Jennifer.
You go ahead.
We did those as our Christmas giveaway for all of our employees, and they have been the biggest hit, hands down, the most used item that I've ever seen our agency give people. They absolutely love them.
So we probably won't see anybody from your agency purchasing any at the conference.
I need more than one because my daughter stole mine. So I guess.
Oh, there you go.
My agency one, and I'll take an Aptonina one.
So my thoughts on this with marketing, these do go pretty quickly. Well, when we give them away, they go quickly. What's the plan on them? It's going to have our logo laser etched in one side and something clever saying in the other side, or what's the thought there, Jennifer?
Yeah, I was thinking either a dispatch related saying, or it occurred to me while you guys were ripping on each other, if we end up getting reclassified or defined in public safety as, or defined in statute as public safety, we could commemorate that, but we'd have to know pretty fast. So that's probably not feasible. But I will, in the interest of time, I will put together a formal proposal with numbers and a proposed saying and send it around to the board before we do anything else.
Okay, that'll be great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Last on the list is elections.
Is Yvette still here?
Still here.
Yes.
Awesome. So it's election time, and elections, we need to have them before, well in advance of the conference, because the new board gets sworn in at the conference. And so I just wanted to make sure that Yvette knew that she had the support that she needed to get those going. Do you have access to the voting software, et cetera, et cetera? What do you need from us?
I don't think I have access to the voting software. I can't remember what we used last year, but I can check with Adam.
Yeah, I would check with Adam. It's Election Buddy. Yvette and Adam had the login and the password, and then we just they'll give you a cost quote and we get it paid. But I believe it was Election Buddy.
Okay, I will check with that with him. And then timeline wise, how long? Because we need people to be nominated first of all, and then get people to vote. So timeline wise, I'm hoping to get everything done by at least the beginning of April, or like the first week in April, so they have enough time to attend the conference for our meeting. But aside from that, how much time are we wanting to give for voting?
So we, I think if we start asking for nominations like this week, basically, and leave the nomination period open, I'm just looking at the calendar and throwing stuff out there. But if we have nominations open from now until February, basically the end of February, and we really hit it hard for marketing, that would give us time to put out voting in the first couple of weeks of March. And if we get the voting done, and our bylaws specify timelines for how long the voting's out and that kind of thing. But I think if we do that, that would be pretty advantageous. What do you guys think?
That works for me. If we think that we'll have enough nominees and we'll be able to get through the process.
And we have a form for nominees, I think. I'll have to go back and look. The positions that we need are second vice president. Ronnie's up for re-election this year if she wants to stand, but her term is up this year. Nate Trush as Eastern Region Director, his term is up this year, and Gina's term is up this year for Western. And Ken, your term is up this year.
Are any of these folks planning on rerunning? Do we know?
Well, Ronnie and Ken are here.
I know. That's why I question. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm happy to keep running.
Okay.
I didn't know I had a term. I just thought I just served at your pleasure here. So
Everything's 2-year term.
okay, sign me up for another.
For executive council. Oh no, executive council's 2-year term as well. And then Ronnie, are you interested in running?
Yes.
Yay.
Same for Gina.
Yay.
I'm texting Nate.
Okay.
And I'm just looking up the bylaws to see, so we're all on the same page.
And Jennifer, you said there's a nomination form on our drive?
Well, I think so.
I feel like in the past they've just asked for a email
Yeah, that's what I recall too, Jody. Like
Yeah, it's like you can either do a self-nomination or you can nominate, and then if you're not doing a self-nomination, they ask you for a short bio. Is that right, Tyler?
yeah, and then you also had to have a letter
Of
from
support.
your agency endorsing you or if you've been nominated, endorsing that role. So you had to have basically a short bio on yourself if you were self-nominating, and then a letter from your agency endorsing it. And then even if you were nominated by somebody, you still have to get that letter from your agency just endorsing it.
Okay. All right. Well, I will work on that this week and I'll send it out for nominations.
And we have a conduct of elections policy that Kathy and her bylaws committee need to pay some attention to, because it still talks about October conduct of elections, and we don't do elections in October anymore.
I will be reviewing all of those sometime this week.
You lucky duck.
I know. Hey, I said I wanted to read more in 2024, so here I go.
Well, there you go. Okay, so eligibility. Sorry. The Secretary, Treasurer, Eastern Region Directors, and Western Region Directors may serve 2 consecutive terms. Everybody's required to sign an NDA. And any NINA and or APCO member in good standing may serve. For any member to be considered eligible, they shall provide a letter of acknowledgement stating that their employer is aware of their candidacy and the candidate believes they will have time to fulfill their duties.
This is Ronnie, and I was reading the email from last year as well, and it pretty much says the same thing. If you're interested and have your agency support, submit your name, agency, the position you are running for, and a short bio about why you want to join the executive board. Please include a letter of acknowledgement from your employer showing their support of you fulfilling the role.
Cool.
Also in that email, it was has a link to the bylaws, and it just had to send all that information to the past president email.
Okay, awesome. I'll get that sent out.
Awesome. Any other discussion on elections?
Thanks,
Sweet.
Yvette.
Yeah, thank you, Yvette, for taking care of that. Any other discussion or anything that the group wants to discuss that maybe was not on the agenda before we adjourn?
This is Jennifer. I know we're over, so I'm going to give a couple of quick things and we can discuss via email if we need to. We do have 2 helping our own proposals that we need to take care of before we close the meeting. I would like to send out a proposal for get-togethers at both the Colorado Rockies games and a Grand Junction Jackalopes game on the Western Slope here later in the summer, and we can talk about that via email. But I also want to see if it would be possible, or what the board thinks about starting to post our minutes and agendas back online. We haven't been super transparent lately, and I would like to see our chapter meetings posted in a similar manner like the task force, where you've got a calendar and the meeting dates and times are listed in that calendar. And if you click on the calendar invite, it's got our link to participate, so we can have our chapter members participate as well. And then I'd like to have a section, well, we already have a section on our website, but start to post our minutes and agendas again there, so our members who aren't able to participate in the meetings have a place to go and see what's going on in the chapter. Does anybody have a problem with this or thoughts about that?
I would love to see that, Jennifer. I've gone in looking a couple of times, so I know I've missed some meetings in the past, and I'm not necessarily on the board, but I like to see what's happening, and so I've looked for those and haven't found them.
Well, I think that I know we used to do it, and I think this is just one of those things that falls off in the handover between people in positions. So I don't know that it was intentional, but I'd love to see us pick it up again if the board is agreement.
I know that when I took over, I believe it was in the bylaws, it states that they must be in our drive, and then the drive was connected to everybody to be able to look at those. So I don't know if we can connect that drive again, Daryl, some way, because they're there. Just need to get it public.
Yeah, what's easiest, Daryl, do you think? Is it have a link direct back to the drive where they can go view them if they choose, or actually posting them on the meeting page?
So, sorry, I was multitasking. So, are you asking what the best way is to display agendas and minutes?
Yeah, exactly. What's the easiest way?
So right now there is a meeting page on the Conina APCO website, and there is there are folders for meeting materials, and I think that's probably your best bet is to use that. It doesn't look like it's been updated for 2024 yet, so I can work on making that happen, and then the secretary or whoever is doing it will just need to put those documents in the correct folder so that they show up on the website.
When you say correct folder, is that on the drive that it's linked to, or is it actual on the website?
It's in the shared drive that all of you should have access to as board members. And if you don't, I can fix that.
All right. If you want to add that 2024, and then just let me know, because I've just followed suit from the last year. So it should be pretty much there as long as we direct it there, I guess.
Yeah, I just probably need to update the direction on the website if you're already putting it in the right folders.
Perfect. Yeah, just let me know what I need to do.
Yep.
Perfect. Any
Thank
other?
you guys.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time. Thank you for
Wait.
What?
Helping our own.
Oh, helping our own. Those emails came across. I think one is for an Aurora dispatcher and one is for I don't remember the agency.
Weld
I
County.
think it's Weld County.
Weld County. And I believe I saw back and forth, there's a set limit or max limit that we can even provide, correct?
I think what I sent out was the maximum amount that we have done in the past was $200.
Okay.
But anybody's welcome to correct me if I'm not right on that.
No, that's been the standard.
Okay.
And then I guess I'd ask Jody again, are we in a position to be able to help out?
Yeah, it's a little weird. We do our coin sales technically go towards the helping our own, but we don't have a separate bank account for it. So I just kind of keep track of it in a spreadsheet. So I mean, as far as that, line item, yes, there are funds there for that based on the coin sales.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do we have a motion on the floor to help our own for the Weld County and Aurora dispatcher?
This is Jennifer. I just put up the policy that we have on special funds since we don't do this very often. I just wanted to make sure that we were in line. The request falls into significant illness of a member or a member's immediate family. I assume that the Weld County person is a member since I think Weld County does group memberships. I know Aurora's supervisor is a member. We need a written request to a board member for the Aurora, but I'm happy to write that up since I made the request on behalf of that Aurora supervisor. And so I would move. How much do we have in the Helping Our Own fund, Jody?
I knew you were going to ask, and I'm going my way through the
Sorry.
Give me like 2 seconds, please.
Well, while she's looking that up, I would move that as long as we have enough in the Helping Our Own fund to cover, I move that we submit or donate $200 to the Weld County dispatcher and $200 to the Aurora supervisor out of the Helping Our Own funds on behalf of the chapter.
I second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Okay, so hold on before you guys do that. I haven't updated it since we sent out. Jennifer, do the flowers come out of the Helping Our Own or no?
No, that just comes out of regular chapter money.
And I have one. So we have about $1,800 in that account.
Oh, that's great.
Based on the coin sales that we've had to date from 2023.
So this would take us down to 1,400?
Give or take, that's my estimate. I'd have to go. It looks like I haven't updated it from the last one, but yeah, that'll take us right around down to 1,400.
Perfect. Then my nomination still stands.
And we have a second from Kathy. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes.
I have nothing else, Mr. President.
All right, no, you're good.
And just real quick, I need to discuss with the board how we want to do that. I've been issuing checks directly from our bank account, so I don't know if we want to send them a card that says they will receive a check, and then I can get their addresses and mail them a check. Jennifer, what's the best way to go about doing that?
Yeah, I think I have some Nina Apco branded cards somewhere in my stuff. And if so, and if the board would like, I'm happy to send those ahead so that they can know to expect the check and to not trash it as a scam.
Yeah, I can handwrite a check and mail them. It's just easier if I keep track of it through the bank account. So I guess if we want to contact them and say, this check will be coming, it takes on a non-fee basis about 10 days for the bank to cycle everything through, and they should have it within 10 days. So if you let me know when you mail it, then I will put and I can get me their addresses, then I will put it into the account. So,
well, I would get with Yvette because she put forward the Weld County, and then I'll get with Tina Panetta and get the address for the other one.
If we
I'll shoot you an email, Jody. I have her
That'd be
address.
perfect. Okay, great. Just CC me and Jennifer on it, and then when she gets the cards sent out, just saying, "Hey, we're gonna, appropriate these funds. You'll receive a check from U.S. Bank. Don't throw it away," which has happened before. Yeah, that'd be perfect. That's just the easiest way for me to keep track of it.
Perfect. The only other quick thing that I had real quick for the group, I'm sure there's folks on here that are going to Washington. Jody was able to get name tags. Is that something that we want to distribute before everybody goes to Washington, or do we care? What's the group's thoughts on that, or do we just want to wait till the local conference?
I will be in Washington, so I'm happy to bring them for whoever's coming. It doesn't matter to me. This is my first time going, so I don't know what the standard is.
Yeah, I could go either way. I think it's just really, I think for this group specifically, do we want to just show who we are, or that we're with the local chapter? I don't know if it matters one way or the other. I just was going to throw it out to the group, though.
I think if Jody is going and can bring them, that's easy.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need a list of, I can just bring them all, but I just need a list of which chapter officers are going, and then I'll bring them along.
Awesome. Well, South Metro will be there. I believe Kathy's going to be there. I believe Jennifer's going.
Nope, Daryl's going.
Daryl's going. Jennifer's not going. But Daryl will be there. And then I believe Kathy Nate is going.
Yes.
Okay. So a good chunk of us will be there for sure.
So just so everybody knows, which timing couldn't be worse, my husband has to have a valve replacement in his heart. And he goes on the 15th of this month to the cardiologist, and then he will find out the date that that's going to happen. I'm hoping it's not during that week, but sometimes we're subject to those schedules. So if that's the case, I will be here. I will not be in Washington, and I'm sorry about that, everybody.
No, it's totally understandable, Kathy. You take care of the family. Family comes first. Definitely let us know
Yep.
if there's anything that this group can provide. And then obviously from South Metro's perspective, Kathy, definitely if there's anything you need, let us know.
I appreciate that. We've known it was coming. We just didn't expect it to come this soon. So we'll see, and everything's going to be fine. So.
Well, I'll be thinking of him and you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to end the meeting on a big like downer note.
No, you're totally fine. And Kathy, don't feel like you have to go either, right? I mean,
I know.
First, so. All right. Any other discussion? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
This is Jennifer. So moved. Great meeting, everybody.
All
You
right.
had seconds.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Meeting's adjourned at 10:50. Thank you, everybody, for your help and continued support on this. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks,
Talk to
everybody.
y'all soon.